Hello guys, and welcome to today's tropical update. And in this video we are now going to be talking about newly designated Invest 99L that has been formed here in Guatemala. Obviously this was the 2 p.m. update advisory, and the chances have increased since yesterday just a little bit. We are now at 30% in both the 48 and 5 day time frame. This is showers and thunderstorms associated with a tropical wave located over northern Guatemala and southern Mexico have become a little better organized since yesterday. The system is forecast to emerge into the Bay of Campeche tomorrow, where an area of low pressure could form. After that, additional slow development of the system is possible while it moves northwestward over the southwest Gulf of Mexico. By Saturday night, this system should be making landfall in northeast Mexico, and we got an air recon flight out there to investigate tomorrow. So that's what it is right now. And now we're going to take a look at the infrared here. And as you can see, the convection, it had tons of convection earlier, but it fell apart. That's pretty typical with this time of day, plus it's inland as well. But don't let that fool you, because it actually has a pretty robust mid-level sensor in this thing, which could help it in the long run. So we're just going to have to see what happens with that moving forward. All right, so here we are. We are looking at the 18Z. Hold on, real quick. Let me refresh. All right, now we're looking at the 18Z. So, as you can see, this is our vorticity signature right here in the Yucatan, and it comes out around 12 hours from now, so about 6C on Friday. And as you see, it kind of just gets strings out a little bit. It tries to consolidate right in here around 20 north, and in between 190 west, but it just doesn't have enough time. And it looks like the main part of the vorticity makes landfall in about 54 hours from now. So, once it gets out into the Bay of Campeche, it doesn't really have a whole lot of time to get going. So, but we're going to take a look at the total accumulations here as well. And you can see it's not really a washout by any means, but you're still going to be getting about an inch of rain from this, because it should be moving fairly quickly because of the ridge placement. So, yeah, eastern coast of Mexico, you don't have to worry about too much. It'll act as if it's your typical. Any place else, this is a typical afternoon shower or thunderstorm, but a little bit longer duration, if that makes sense. So, with that being said, now we're going to take a look at the ECMWF. This was initialized as 12Z, and as you can see, the vorticity starts to come out in a little more than 6 hours from now. And as you can see, as we go forward, it takes a northwesterly approach here. It tries to consolidate definitely more than the GFS, but we're just gonna have to see how that pans out, because there's talks about this ridge placement that could put some strong trades here and string it out a little bit. But ECMWF is showing a little bit more of a consolidated system than, say, the GFS is. So it's a battle of which one is going to be right. Is it going to be the GFS? Is it going to be more strung out? Or is it going to be the ECMWF, where it's a little bit compact and put together a little bit more than the GFS? All right. So now we're going to take a look at the NOAA Coral Reefs Watch sea surface temperature. And, once more, not much has changed since we last looked at this yesterday. We are looking at 29s, 30s degrees Celsius waters where this thing is going to traverse. So the sea surface temperatures are there. The environment is going to be there. It's just the ridge placement and time. Those are the only two things that are really putting a hamper on the system as we go out through time. But as we go later on into the season, these temperatures are going to really matter here around the East Coast, in the upper Gulf Coast, East Gulf Coast, even West Gulf Coast. It only takes one to go into your area to make it an impactful season. And here on Monday, depending on what's going on, we're going to take a look at the wider long-range picture to see if there's anything going on in the world of the tropics. So, with that being said, let's take a look at the tropical cyclone heat potential. And it's it's the same as the sea surface temperatures. It's pretty much the same. We're looking at anywhere 50 to 100, tropical cyclone heat potential for this thing to use. And because it's not going to be moving terribly slow. It's not going to be taking up a whole lot of this ocean heat content that the Bay of Campeche in the South Gulf, northwest Gulf of Mexico has for the system. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all pans out later on. All right, so here we are. We're going to look at the ensembles. We're probably not going to look at this one because it's not even done yet. So let's go back to 12Z and see what happens with that. As you can see, here at about the 18-hour mark, you see these low pressure systems that are coming off the Yucatan Mexican Gulf Coast, and as you can see, 24 hours from now, the L's, the low pressures, they start to blow up a little bit, but then, as you can see, they kind of dwindle in numbers a little bit as we head through time, but it still has many members of the. I think there's 21. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but there are 21 members, I think, on this, and most of them have something on this. So looking at either at 10 millibars, somewhere in the 10.7s, 10.8s, somewhere around there. They're only predicting, most of them are predicting 20 to 30 knot system. Well, there's one there that's predicting a 30 to 40 knot system. So, to me, I'm going to be watching this real time. And, I don't know how to feel about the models this year. But to me, I feel like this system right now is a real time watch as we hit out through time. Once it gets out into the Bay of Campeche, it's probably going to have about 48 hours to try to get something going before it eventually goes into northeastern Mexico as we head out through the weekend. So now we're going to be taking a look at the 12Z EPS, the Ensemble Prediction System. And as you can see here at about 12 hours, you can see tons of low pressure areas starting to creep up. And as you can see, the EPS has 51 members, and there's tons of members here for this thing. There you got some 10.8s, you got some 10.7s, 10.9s, 10.8s. It just depends on a couple of different factors for the system. And it's time. Time is going to be a factor, and that's just no way of cutting corners on that. So it's going to have about 48 hours to try to do anything once it gets out into the Bay of Campeche, and then that's going to be it for the Invest 99L. So with that being said, I'm going to announce this ahead of time. September 10th, I'm going to be making my final hurricane season prediction for the season. And as you guys know, this season has been unreally quiet. When I first made my predictions, I thought that everything was lining up for a very epic season, and then so far we've only had 3 systems, which granted, you had 2 to start July, you had 1 in June, and you would think that's a typical normal season, but like I said on Monday, granted, things might change between now and Monday, but right now, the long-range models are not really picking up on much of anything. So, how are we going to go through August without any named storms? In my opinion, we're probably not going to go without a named storm or 2 at least, or at the most. I don't know, but I do think that we're going to have a turnaround at some point. It's probably going to be in September. That's just going to have to be the way of the land here, unless the mid-latitude dry air, continues to ruin the day. So with that being said, September 10th, I'll be making my final predictions. So you guys are getting about a 3-week notice on that. And then Monday, we'll go over the long-range models. So with that being said, I will catch you guys tomorrow with another update for Invest 99L. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.